All right, so let's just get this out of the way. Number one, yes, I am a Browns fan. If you can't tell already, you must be blind. So I know you see the title of this video and think, oh, this must be a Steelers fan or Bengals fan or Ravens fan who just wants to hate for no reason, yada, yada, yada. No, I'm a Browns fan. Um, but here's the deal. You see the title and you're like, what is this? Because, that's just how people think. Um, the title of this video being Browns fans are stupid does not mean directly all Browns fans. Yes, I understand what you're thinking. That's not what it means. Why didn't you specify? Because the title Browns fans are stupid versus Browns fans are stupid, but not all. Let me explain. There's a difference. So I figured it'd be easier to actually explain myself here versus in the title. You get what I'm saying. So, number one, there are a lot of fantastic, good-hearted Browns fans who are great people, loyal, die-hard, thick and thin, root for this team, love everything about it, no matter how bad things get. It's staying, they're staying, you know what I mean? Those people are great people. That's not who I'm talking about. There's a certain group of Browns fans, and if you are a Browns fan, you know these people where no matter how great it gets, they'll always find something to be mad about. You can win a game by 60 points, and there's going to be something they're mad about. You could go 14-2, lose in the AFC Championship game, and they're going to be ticked, burn it to the ground. These are the types of people that I'm talking about here. Because now, this is something I have got to get off of my chest. And this might turn into a rant, maybe. Get up. There we go. I don't know for sure, but we're just going to talk about this. So we are now week 3 into the NFL season, really week 4. Week 3 just wrapped up. Great game last night with the Ravens Chiefs. And by the way, number one, Ravens are going to be fine. Everybody's overreacting to that game. I think that's what it tells you is the Chiefs are by far the best team in the league. They're going to repeat in the Super Bowl. I don't think there's a whole lot to tell you there. And if there's anybody who still thinks Lamar is better than Mahomes, clearly you're just an idiot. So, really don't know what to tell you there. That's your own problem. Figure it out. So, this group of Browns fans have been negative about everything, every little thing. And while I understand that there's been a lot that has been, reason to be mad in this city, you got to be able to take the positives away. And yeah, I know there have been positives in the past that turn out to be, a failure or a bad experiment or whatever with this team. But 3 weeks into the year, I've taken a lot of positives from each game. And I'm starting to really pick up on what they're trying to do with this team, especially offensively, more particularly with Baker Mayfield. And I'll get into that in a minute, but, pregame, postgame, I like to listen to 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. I don't live in Cleveland. I'm not going to tell you where I live. But I like to listen from the heart of things, you know what I mean? Where, it's not like watching ESPN or FS1 where they're just going to tell you some BS opinion and they really don't actually care about the truth. There's a lot of guys who I like to listen to there, and there's a lot of really good Browns YouTubers too. Brownie Post Game, those guys. I really like Mason Talks. And there's plenty of others, and at the Fan there in Cleveland, Ken Carman and them. There's plenty, but there's also a lot of bad. You can make your own decision on who you like or whatever, but I have got to talk about this. It just frustrates me because I have listened to the fan reaction, social media, everywhere, and then of course, the radio callers, and all that. And there's just a certain group of people that have always got to find the negatives and absolutely hammer them home. Yesterday, Ken Carman and I forget what his co-host. I can't remember his name. They were talking about the Washington game and saying, there's a lot of people mad about this game. Basically just asking, should you be happy that you won, even though it wasn't pretty? Should you be happy that you won? And of course, the answer is yes. That's just ridiculous. But you had people repeatedly calling in saying, you had one guy that said, Baker's the guy, not the guy. He'll never be the guy. As long as he's here, he's going to be, this team's going to suck. I heard people calling in saying this coaching staff sucks. We failed again on the coach. There's been nothing good to take away from in the last 3 games. This team's a fluke, whatever. And certainly not everything is a positive, obviously, number one. But these people, okay. This team, this fan base has been cursed with a loser's mentality because of the fact that over the years there have been so many coaches that have failed, so many quarterbacks that have failed, so many just tests and let's try this, let's try that have failed, that there are a certain group of fans of this team are just immediately, nope, it's going to fail, whatever. Let me tell you something. Through the first 3 games, there have been a lot of positives to take away just from last year. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. What I heard, and I'm not taking credit for this, but what Ken Carman said yesterday is 1,000% correct. What you're seeing the Browns do, and what you're seeing Kevin Stefanski and Alex Van Pelt do with Baker Mayfield right now, they're taking him back to rookie year. They're acting like he's never been in the league. They're acting like he's, just coming out. They're treating this like it's his rookie year. They're redoing his footwork. They're going through learning this style of offense, learning reads, going through everything. And people are going to say, it's his 3rd year in the league. He's the number 1 overall pick, this, and that. Let me tell you something. Not every single quarterback is going to be Patrick Mahomes. Not every single quarterback is going to be Deshaun Watson. Not every single quarterback is going to be like your Kyler Murrays, like your Russell Wilsons. We have got to stop putting a cap on where they were picked instead of why they were picked. People now see this league and see, the wow factors. Last night, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, those are 2 guys that you can watch, you watch and just wow. Like, that's unbelievable. Not every single quarterback is going to be like that. Not every single quarterback develops like that. Everybody is different. Just because you want a certain guy to look a certain way doesn't mean that's how it's going to be. Browns fans in particular are so jealous of the Bengals right now because, they got Joe Burrow. Oh my gosh, it's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has looked fantastic. Yes, absolutely. But you know what? He's going to die in Cincinnati if they don't protect him. It's the same thing with Andrew Luck. Great prospect, almost surefire thing. Guess what? No protection, retires at 29. Browns fans have got to stop bailing on everything. Baker Mayfield, and this isn't an apologist for Baker Mayfield. People have always said, when are the excuses going to stop? Let me tell you something. Baker Mayfield came into a dumpster fire of a situation with Hugh Jackson as his head coach, with Todd Haley as the offensive coordinator. They fought 24/7 between the two. Both of them ended up getting fired. The year before, it was either 1-15 or 0-16, within the, years before he got there. He came into a dysfunctional situation. Guess what happens? He doesn't start in 3 games. Gets in against the Jets game and then lights it up every game after that. He takes a team that they had some talent. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they had nothing at all to work with, but he had a bad offensive line. Josh Gordon, who was never there. Darren Fells, Brashad Perriman. I'm trying to even think. Derek Willis. Those guys, Rashard Higgins, those guys was what he was working with. It wasn't like he came into, what he has right now. He didn't come in with a ton to work with. He had a dysfunctional situation, terrible head coach, fighting within the organization. You had the front office issues, bad offensive line, and you take a team that went 1-15 or 0-16, I can't remember, and you go 7-8-1, I believe. Yeah, I believe so. There's a reason, there's a reason why he looked, that year one was not a fluke. I have zero doubt that, I believe he's going to be a really good player. I have no doubt about that. I know people criticize me for that. But he comes into that situation and, Todd Haley and Hugh Jackson gets fired. Both of the guys who were fighting, they're both out the door. Okay. Greg Williams takes over as your head coach. Okay. Defensive guy, doesn't worry about the offense, whatever. Freddie Kitchens becomes your offensive coordinator. Now, according to what we've heard since then, it was really Ken Zampese who was drawing up the plays, basically made Baker Mayfield what Baker Mayfield was, what we see in year one. Guess what? You go on to finish the year good. You're feeling great. They fire Greg Williams because, even though they liked him, he did a pretty good job. That's not the guy you wanted going into the future. I understand why they fired him. In hindsight, should they have? No, they should have kept him. At the time it made sense. I'm sure they regret it now. But anyway, so what do? They go off in the offseason. They trade for Odell Beckham Jr. Great. Everybody, I lost my voice that night. Everybody's talking about, look at the Browns, look at the weapons they got. Well, guess what? You hire Freddie Kitchens as your head coach, who was the offensive coordinator for half of the year. Turns out it wasn't even him doing the work. He was just taking what he was given. And what does he do? He takes what worked for Baker Mayfield year one, what made him break the rookie passing touchdown record, what made him offensive player of the year, rookie offensive player of the year candidate. Should have probably won that. Went to Barkley. That's fine. And Freddie Kitchens looked at that and threw it out the window. Ripped it up. Completely threw it out. So what does he do? He takes a 6'1" quarterback, 6'1", and he puts him in a air raid vertical passing game offense with a terrible offensive line. Terrible. Garbage. What happens? Year two, all these expectations, all these big name weapons, and no offensive line. No structure. No leadership. And it was a absolute dumpster fire of a situation. Baker was getting murdered. The team hated Freddie Kitchens. Personalities were at their worst. You had it was horrible. It was just torture as a fan to watch that. And was it completely bad 24/7? No. We could have probably won about 2, 3, 4 more games if the head coach was not brain dead. But people lost all hope for the future after that season. There was no hope. Quarterback sucked. Get him out. Everything's wrong. Everything's horrible. We're never going to win. Freddie Kitchens might be the worst head coach in NFL history. Like, I'm dead serious. And I like the guy. I have no problem with him personally, but as a head coach, he was just terrible. He was awful. This organization was finally taking major steps forward, and then you add some more talent, and because of who you hired as head coach, you lost more than you won the year before. And it leads to Freddie Kitchens getting fired, and I know there's some people saying, that was a mistake. They needed to give him another chance. Freddie Kitchens, Hugh Jackson went 1-15, 0-16, 2 years in a row. Freddie Kitchens would have been just as bad, if not worse. The situation this year would have been terrible. These players would have hated him. It would have been a complete dumpster fire again. So what do? They fire Freddie Kitchens. They fire John Dorsey. And I was ticked when they fired John Dorsey. But guess what? Let's look back at it. John Dorsey takes Baker Mayfield number 1 overall. I think that's fine. Obviously, now looking back at it, everybody would take Lamar number 1. But you got to remember, looking back, going into the league, Lamar Jackson was nowhere compared to where he's at now. Okay? He was a ball of clay that you needed to work with. He had to get into a system to where they would work with him, not just throw him into what they do, and that's what the Ravens did. And look what happened. The Browns needed a guy to come in and start immediately. That's just what it is. Tyrod Taylor sucked. So it was either going to be Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, or Sam Darnold. And, Josh Allen's looking like a stud right now, playing at a very high level. But you got to understand, Josh Allen has had the same coaching staff, same people there his whole career. They're learning about him. They're learning what he does best. They're putting him in the best situation for him to succeed. He still has his accuracy issues. That's my major concern with him. But they're finding ways to cover it up, get him in the best situations to succeed. Sam Darnold just flat out sucks. I don't know how else to say it. He's terrible. He is garbage. And have they put him in the best situation? Absolutely not. I am not a believer in Sam Darnold. I think he's terrible. But has he gotten any help at all? Absolutely not. And I believe the New York Jets are going to move on from him, and it's going to be the best thing ever to happen to him. Hopefully he ends up in a good situation for his sake, and, for him, hopefully he makes a good career out of it. But as far as him so far, he's been absolutely terrible. So, and of course Rosen, we've seen what's happened there. I'm not going to get into that, but I completely forgot what I was going with there. John Dorsey's draft. So takes Baker at 1. Okay, that's a huge risk. It looked like it was great pick year 1. Year 2, we know what happened, dysfunction, all that. Plenty of blame to go around. Did Baker play good? No, but he was also in a system that was built for quarterbacks who look like Peyton Manning. That is not Baker Mayfield. Number 2 pick in that draft was, it was the number 4th pick, and it was Denzel Ward. It was going to be between him and Bradley Chubb. If you had to take one right now, you would take Denzel Ward. Bradley Chubb has been hurt for the most part. He's not lived up to that pick. Injuries, you can't bet on him. And Denzel Ward's been hurt a lot too, but Denzel Ward, for the most part, has played really, really good. There's better picks that you could have made there. But when you're looking back, it's just going to be between those two. But after that, Nick Chubb. Okay, so three. John Dorsey hit on 3 picks. In my opinion, Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb. And the trade for Jarvis Landry was good too. So those are 4 things that John Dorsey did that were fantastic for this city and for this team. You could argue OBJ if you want to. We can debate that another time. But after that, Chad Thomas sucks. Austin Corbett sucks. Antonio Callaway he's a drug addict. I almost cussed. Try to keep it PG up in here. Trying to think what other picks. Jernard Avery was a good player, and you got rid of him for a 4th-round pick. So, yeah, John Dorsey hit on the stars. He was playing. He kept a roster like it was fantasy football. But the little things, the coach ain't little, but the offensive line, defense, filling holes, he sucked at it. He was terrible at it. The Browns absolutely had to fire him. I was mad when it happened, but looking back now, boy, was that a good decision. So, we just recapped all that terrible, and you can't go down the list of bad quarterbacks, bad coaches, Mike Pettin, Johnny Manziel, all of these people you can go down. But that does not mean that you should not look at positives. This Browns team now is not the Browns team of 2, 3, 4 years ago. It is not. We have a coach and a system. We have a coach and a GM who think things through, who are smart. They know what they're doing. Trust me. They're taking they were handed a real, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry were handed a good situation roster-wise, but culturally, systematically, they were handed a awful situation. And what have they done? Andrew Berry goes out, draft Jedrick Wills, number 10 overall in the draft pick. You take advantage of the bad year you had, you get the number 10 pick, you fill that left tackle spot. He moved from right tackle to left tackle in the NFL. What has he done so far? He's only been the best tackle in that draft. He struggled in camp, but since then he has dominated. He is mowing over people in the run game. He's holding his own against the NFL's top, defenses, and he's playing fantastic. The Browns have their left tackle for the future for the next decade. Andrew Berry did that. That is huge. That is huge. The Browns have not had a good left tackle since Joe Thomas retired. And that you've seen the effects of that. Greg Robinson sucks. Greg Robinson was terrible. Garbage. He's in jail. He's literally in jail. He's so dumb that he tried to sneak, I don't even know what it was, a crazy amount of weed over the border, like an idiot. Just stupid. Left guard, Joe Bitonio, great. Good piece to have. Center, J.C. Tretter, great. Good piece to have. Right guard, I can't remember if it was Dorsey. I believe Dorsey traded for Wyatt Teller, I believe, from Buffalo. I believe that was. Yeah, because that was last year, because he played some. He showed some good signs. So I'll give that to Dorsey, too. That's another good thing that John Dorsey did. There you go. Wyatt Teller, according to Pro Football Focus, has been literally like the best right guard in the NFL. And you traded like a 6th or 7th round pick for him. The Browns should absolutely extend him now. He's young. He's been playing at a high level, analytically in the numbers, but also on the field. He's doing the same thing like you're seeing from Jedrick Wills, opening up holes, just playing dominant. And then at right tackle, Jack Conklin, who is, man, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. He's played this system that we're running at a very high level. He's the guy that you're going to have here for a long time. Then you look at Nick Harris. Nick Harris in camp was like a 5th round pick center out of Washington, I believe. He stepped in and not a beat missed. I mean, you have your offensive line for at least the next 4 years for sure. That is huge. Like, I don't care if, things can just go to hell real quick for the rest of the season. You have your offensive line. That is huge. That is huge. Baker was getting murdered last year. He's hardly been touched in the first 2 games, especially the third game, not so much, but going forward, that is absolutely huge. Let's see, where should we go from here? Let's just get into Baker Mayfield more. To all you negative Browns fans who, Case Keenum will get us to the playoffs. Case Keenum will get us to the promised land. Well, no shit. Case Keenum has been in this system for a while. He knows Kevin Stefanski's system like the back of his hand. Of course he would. Of course he would. Why shouldn't you put Case Keenum in? Well, guess what? You didn't pick Case Keenum with the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Case Keenum's not supposed to be your quarterback for the future. You got to get Baker Mayfield up to speed. Why do you think they're not passing the ball a lot? That's the big thing I've heard. They don't trust Baker Mayfield. They don't like him. They're not letting him pass the ball. You have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Run the football. That's what you can do best. You're bringing Baker Mayfield along slowly. That way you can work him into the system. That is the whole point of, fixing the offensive line, fixing the footwork, getting this system that he's best at for him. That's why they hired Kevin Stefanski. This offense, this system is built around Baker Mayfield. It is all about, it's like it or not, it is all about Baker Mayfield. That's what it is. They wouldn't have got out and gotten Austin Hooper. They wouldn't have gone out and fixed the offensive line as far as like the attention to the problems. They are doing everything in their power to fix Baker Mayfield. They are trying to get him involved in this system, bring him along. He's not going to throw 40 times in this offense right now. Go look at Kirk Cousins' numbers. You know what Kevin Stefanski's first game in Minnesota was? You know how many pass attempts Kirk Cousins had? 10! 10 passing attempts! Listen, it is really not that complicated. They're acting as if Baker Mayfield is a rookie, and they're taking him step by step by step. Once they get him completely acclimated, and they can be more fluid with the offense right now, what you've seen against Cincinnati, that's going to be the baseline of what this offense is going to look like. He's going to be able to run the play action, spread the ball around. It's going to look great. You just got to take it slowly, one play at a time, one piece at a time. Let's get acclimated. Has he played perfect? No. But guess what? 16 to 23, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I'll take it. Let's see. I took screenshots. That way I could for this video. Let's see. Okay, Baker Mayfield so far this season is 53 of 85, 62% completion percentage, a 69 completion percentage in the last 2 games, 565 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2-1 record. That is heading in the right direction. I don't care how pissed off you are. We are not jumping into things immediately. We're moving it along slowly. And against Dallas, you are going to have to throw the ball more. So that will be interesting to see. But this direction under Kevin Stefanski is going the way that it's supposed to be. In this past game against Washington, he completed 70% of his passes, throwing 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. If you are mad at that, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. Okay. You want to throw out a comparison? In the first 32 starts of his career, Baker Mayfield is 14. Wait, hold on. Okay, quarterback record. So this means win-loss record. He's 14 of 18. Quarterback record, 8,116 yards, 54 touchdowns, 37 interceptions. That's Baker in the first 32 games. Let me read you Drew Brees, who's going to be a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. 13 of 19 quarterback record, 6,285 yards, 36 touchdowns, 33 interceptions. So, in other words, shut the hell up. Seriously. You guys are crying about Baker Mayfield 24/7 for no reason. Could it be better right now? Yeah, of course it could. You could throw a guy who knows what he's doing in this system, and it'd look a lot better. But you're not going to have Case Keenum as your quarterback for the future. Baker Mayfield, you got to decide if he's your guy or not. And the only way to do that would be get him up to speed in this system, get him going. People are judging him as if he's been in the same system with the same people for 3 years straight now. No, he hasn't. Year one, complete dysfunction, and he looked really good. 7-8-1 from the year before without him. 0-16, 1-15. Year two, we all know what happened. Plenty of blame to go around, but the bottom line was they put way too much on his shoulders. They tried to put him in a system that was not him. Excuse me. So here's a comparison, because you guys, you like what Kirk Cousins did last year, don't you? Kirk Cousins looked pretty good last year. Everybody thought, oh, Kirk Cousins is, what he was expected to be. Kirk Cousins from, up to week 3 now. Let me rephrase that. Kirk Cousins last season, from week 1 to week 3, his passer rating was 87.1, completion percentage 58.73, 63 attempts, 37 completions, 505 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's Kirk Cousins' numbers. And obviously, we know that as the year went on, Kirk Cousins got better and better and better, right? We know. Minnesota went to the playoffs. We know what happened. They got destroyed by the Niners. But it looked really good. Baker Mayfield from week 1 to week 3 under Kevin Stefanski, 91.5. Cousins was at 87.1 passer rating. Baker's a 91.5. Completion percentage, 63.35. Kirk's was 58.73. Baker's got 53 completions. Kirk had 37. Baker has 564 passing yards. Kirk had 505. Baker's got 5 touchdowns. Kirk has 3. Both had 2 interceptions. Bottom line is, it's on the right path. Okay? You can scream bench him. You can scream he's not the guy. You can scream we'll never be successful. There is a system in place. There's a plan in place to get this guy up to what he should be. This Kevin Stefanski system, this Kevin Stefanski offense, you're seeing what Minnesota is right now without Kevin Stefanski. And, there's a lot of Vikings fans who are saying, well, we could have him and it'd still suck. I don't know. Maybe you're right. But what the numbers are telling you is what Kirk Cousins did last year so far, Baker's done better. So Baker is already, going at a faster pace than Kirk Cousins did. Kirk Cousins has been in the league a lot longer than Baker. Would you like to see Baker throw, 30 times a game and complete 30 of 34 with 4 touchdowns and 500 yards, of course, we all would. But here's the deal. You got to understand, just be patient. Be patient. You're going to see games where they're going to have to throw more. You know, the Cowboys are a game you're going to have to pass the ball more, in my opinion. You know, people have no clue what they're talking about sometimes. And it's really unbelievable to me. It really is how people just, they love to run their mouth. They love to complain. They love to argue. But what you guys got to understand, you know, if you're just all negative and all, you know, we suck again. Number one, yeah, the defense has problems. You know, I'm already 35 minutes into this video. I'm not going to even touch on the defense yet. But my point is, with the negative Browns fans who just want to yell and complain and scream about the quarterback and scream about the head coach, scream about the passing attempts, there is a plan in place, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So just stop. Should you be happy we won? Of course you should. Of course you should. The plan's coming along. We're moving forward. We didn't have a preseason. We didn't have much of an offseason. We're learning on the fly, people. I mean, it's just what it is. And it's gonna go at its timing. And in my opinion, we're on course for 9-7, maybe 10-6. You know, maybe it's 8-8. I really don't know. There's a lot of teams that you should really be able. There's no teams on this list who we got left that you can't beat, other than the Ravens, really, in my opinion. You can beat the Cowboys. You can. It's not going to be easy at all, but you can. You can beat the Colts. You can beat the Texans. You can beat the Raiders. You can beat the Bengals again. None of these games are pushovers, but none of these games are, you know, it's not like you're playing the Chiefs. I was going to say it's not like you're playing the Ravens, but you are. And, you know, you don't want to play the schedule game, because it's easy to just look at the schedule and say, oh, you should win this, you should win that. This offense, what you see right now from week 1 to week 3, it's going to look a lot different towards the end of the year. And us as fans have just got to understand, you know, we want the crazy numbers and the crazy offense, and we want, you know, winning every single game, and, you know, we want all that. But we are so used to losing that we can't accept the process. This team is learning how to win. This team is learning how to be good culture. This team's learning how to be good locker room. The fan base has got to learn the same, and they're not. And they're, like I said, it's not everybody. There's a lot of good fans, but it's just got to be there. There's a lot of work to do. As far as getting this fan base to believe. And, you know, in all reality, I think, you know, the good fans, we just got to understand, you know, it's just what it's going to be. You know, we'll probably lose some games. We'll probably win some close ones. But what this is right now is about getting this system into full effect. And if you really want to know my prediction is this offseason, we will re-sign Baker Mayfield to an extension, and there's going to be a lot of mad people, but we're going to re-sign him out of hope of what you see this year. Because it's going to get, in my opinion, it's going to get better and better and better, just like what you've seen from Kirk Cousins. You're going to grow in this offense. You're going to grow in this system. And you know, there's just some people that you can say whatever you want. They'll never agree. All I ask from you, if you can't take away anything from this video, just be patient. Just be patient. Don't overreact. Don't freak out. To me, it seems like we have our coach. And it feels like the culture's changing. It feels like the tide is, the page is turning. Everything feels like that's how it's going. The fan base has got to understand that. So, anyway, my throat hurts now, and I'm tired. So, I will see you in the next video. Bye.